Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, SwiftUI has been around for quite some time, I would say. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna show you some tricks and tips about having SwiftUI. But first off, I hope you guys have successfully installed your Xcode like previously we have recommended. After doing so, you could see my candy smile still alive, kicking. Okay, now created by me on this very day. Now you could choose to import SwiftUI. Now, core data is more for if you are doing a list, okay, you could use core data. But if you're not doing a list, on my situation, I'm going to remove that, okay? And I'm going to remove this as well, content view. I'm going to remove this, the sorter, and I'm going to also remove the list, drag it all the way down to the formatter, and boom, there we go, okay? So I should have all these. Now, private func, offsets map, we don't need these. All the way to formatter. Okay. Now for content view, we are not using any view I 1, 2, and there we go. Okay. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and we need to close this. So we need to add another one. There we go. Problem solved. Okay. So now we have an empty blank sheet. Okay. Now with this, first off, you need to import a SwiftUI, a struct, content view. Now, content view is this view itself, okay? So as you guys can see, I have a blank view right now. It should be able to prompt me a blank view in a few minutes, okay? There we go. And this is a 14 Pro iPhone version. Love Apple products, awesome. Okay, now, coming back. Now, this is the navigation view. Navigation view means I could navigate within the view itself. Meaning to say I could create buttons, I could create all kinds of stuff, you know, and then navigate within it. Okay, I don't need to create anything additional. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing like for example, if you are trying to buy some stuff at Costco, and then you realize, hey, it's so hard. I can't find my way around. Then Costco created this labeling process where you could navigate yourself. You know, this is the same thing. You know, you could navigate your way out from there. Okay, so you won't get lost. Now, this is what the navigation view is for. After that, you would have the struct where you have the content view previews where this is the provider. Now, if I remove this, there goes my preview. It's gone. Oh my goodness. Okay, so please do sure to put in the content view previewer in order to see that. Okay, now in order to call for the app, it would be down here. Okay, you need to go here to the Candy Smile app and make sure that this is available. We don't need these, but we do need these. Okay, now the window group would provide a content view, which is your home view. Do take note. Okay, whatever views you want down here is the home view itself, the main view. Okay, you don't want to mess things up down here. Okay, if you put the wrong view in, your user most probably will find something different. Okay, which we don't want that. Okay, now coming back, we can select our assets. This is where you put all your pictures, all your descriptions and so forth down here. Okay, now you could also add in other stuff. Okay, well, on the page. Now this is the persistent view, which is come by default. We don't need this, so we do a right click and delete this, just like that. Make sure you move it to trash, not remove references. Okay, if not, it would stay there. Okay, reviewing content and so forth. Now I could go over here. Now this is where my deployment is being provided. Okay, for example, my deployment is on 16 iOS version. What an update. Okay, now we have various other deployments. I guess the most earliest we could go to is 11, which is I think it's iPhone 10. Yep. So ideally we will hope for that. Okay, now here we could do categories down here. You could choose what categories you want: none, books, games and so forth, action games, role playing, navigation, social network and so forth. Now this identifier will be directly displayed into your app submission, okay, at a later part that I'm going to explain about. As for the display name, you could choose whatever name you want to name it. Okay, so we've named it Candy Smile. So no offense, Candy Crush, we love your game. Just want to come up with Candy Smile. Okay, here we go. So now the displayed name is now Candy Smile, as you guys can see down here on top. Okay, now the version number would be what type of version it is. Okay, that means to say, is it version 1, which is your prototype, version 2, your secondary type, okay, and your updates are all in place. Now, you could name it 1.555, you could do that. You could name it 1.652, up to you on this one. You could also name it version 2, depending on you, okay? For the build number, though, you need to be specific. Because if your build number is the same when you upload it into the archives, you might create a hiccup. Okay, something that I'll explain later as well. Okay, now so we're gonna set that to default the first build because we haven't built this yet. Okay, now with the deployment being set, we have the portrait upside down, landscape left and right, portrait upside down, and choices that you want your iPhone orientation to be. Now, in the instance where you don't want it to rotate, maybe from left to right in a sense, you could click on landscape left and landscape right. Remove that and choose upside down. So if you turn your phone down, upwards, upside down, as what you can see right now, you should be able to see an upside down version of the app itself. But if you were to turn it landscape, you won't be able to see anything. Okay, so do take note about that one. Now here, the next part is your app icons. You can include all your app icon assets, which are all within the assets folder here, down here, your app icon. Okay, and another thing would be you have libraries, deployment assets, and supported intents. These things that you can add in just by clicking this. Okay, the add button, the plus button. See, frameworks, AR frameworks, and so forth. Okay. Okay. Now here, check out my next video about the other capabilities, and I'm going to explain to them in details one by one for you. Okay, welcome back. Now here, we have signing capabilities down here, as you guys can see. This is my signing capabilities. There we go. Okay, provision file, the name of the bundle identifier. Now, every app has a specific bundle identifier. It's the same like a product ID, okay? If you get it wrong, if you make a mistake and you didn't do the upload correctly, you're gonna get a lot of problems in this one, okay? You have to redo the whole thing and coming back to here and do the upload and archive, all this kind of stuff. That would be troublesome. I wouldn't want that, okay? Now, coming back, next one, we have resource tags, info. Okay, resource tags are, well, as what you can see, we could add in resources. What our resources do we have? Which we don't have in this instance. Okay, so we can, well, put that out. Now for info, this is where we would navigate a lot for the iOS version itself. Okay, now if you want to create some notifications, for example, privacy, or you want access to the camera, you're gonna have to do it all down here. Okay, you could also add URL types, import type identifiers, export type identifiers, and document types. You could also have build settings down here, which you can see, okay, and the build phrases, which would indicate to you all the compiled resources. There you go. Okay, now you could also add in build rules, which is what composition you want. Okay, and down here you can see there are so many differentiations, okay, which you could use. Okay, now other than having the targets, you can look at the projects again. Now here you could see the deployment target, the configurations, the parallelizations, and localization. Now localization is something that we would use. For example, if I want to add Chinese versions apps, I would have to use this, okay, before I do the modifications within the app itself. Okay, something that I will display in the next video. Okay, now the build settings down here would be indicated as well, okay, which you can see to identify Swift language version. You could change it, see, okay. Well, if you prefer Swift 4, go ahead with that one, but normally I would use the updated one or put it as undefined, because it will just automatically define and identify whatever Swift versions that you have. Okay, you could also choose the package dependencies. which if you can click plus, you could be able to see Swift algorithms, descriptions, okay, all the releases, okay, Swift argument phrase, artmex, collections, crypto as well. Okay, so for crypto users, Web3 guys, okay, there's a video down there about NFTs that I've provided regarding about NFT tutorial websites, HTML and WordPress itself, for example. Now, you could use this to create a crypto app. Okay, so if you want to go outside from other platforms and just use purely native Swift, Apple, Xcode, now this is one way that you can input that in. Okay, so with this, you will be able to import cryptos. Okay, as you guys can see, cryptos, currencies can be used, crypto codes. There we go. So if I want to create MetaMask, for example, connections, you could use this. Okay, generate the food bar and so forth. Okay, and all you have to do is just add package and it will fetch from the GitHub. Okay, now again, GitHub is one of the best platforms that you can ever find in the whole wide world. Currently with 2 million subscribers, make that 20 million subscribers in the whole wide world. Well, developers like us. So if you want to get into the run of it, below I have a GitHub link as well. You could see that and various projects that I've done. Do take a look at it, and feel free to see some of my Swift projects that I work with. You can also contribute, open source. Come and contribute. Okay. Anyway, I hope today's video you'll like it, and if there's anything, again, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next week.